Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 17 properties today, and you may hear the printer in the background. That's how we roll here at the office. So this weekend, if you're going to be in town, you can join us for a tour of homes that's much more efficient and effective than going just looking at open houses. You'll find that you get a lot more specific, you get a lot more information than you ever would on your own. So miltontourofhomes.com, and the link is somewhere on the site depending on which device you're looking at. So let's get started. All right, so let's start off with 420 Duncan Lane. You know we need some theme music for the 420 address. Annette, hit it. Okay, so we have I believe Green Park built this one. It's about 1,600 square feet. You've got a nice big front entrance, but what it does is it actually eliminates some of the size in the back of the home, because all you have is this plus a kitchen with an eat-in. Upstairs bedrooms are a nice size. You also have a finished basement, and I talked about this last week. Homes that face train tracks or they're on busy streets in the past have received some kind of a penalty for that in terms of sale price. But we haven't seen that. It probably, I would say in the last 2 years or so, I just haven't seen that. The other difference is you have direct access to your garage, because if you look at a Mattamy home, for example, you have shared access through your neighbor's yard to get to your yard. This one here, you don't have that problem. Anyway, so facing train tracks, personally not my ideal location, but for the size of this home, for the finished basement, the finish is inside, even a 9-foot ceiling, which is not the easiest thing to find in a townhouse. I would say that you're looking at, I'd be surprised if this one sold for any less than probably $530, $540 minimum, probably even more than that. And I don't know why, but for some reason in today's list, there's people holding back on offers until like Monday, right? And that's tight. I think if you're going to list a home on Thursday, Friday, you have to wait till Tuesday, Wednesday. You can't mess with the formula of 4 to 6 days. 4 is really tight, really 5 to 6 days, including a weekend. So let's see what happens with this one, but I'm quite sure that this price is not what it's actually going to sell for. There we go, 420. Maybe there's a premium for that address. Now remember yesterday on Cabot I said it's hard to find anything less than $550 in Dorset Park. Well, here you go, Fraser Court. The courts are so nice for kids to play hockey and ride their bikes. The traffic is just so minimal. 3-bedroom, 2 washrooms. So there's one full bed or bathroom on the main floor, and then there's one 2-piece in the basement. All we have is exterior shots, which usually means that the inside is a little bit rough. So given the price point, I would say that we're certainly looking at this home requiring some work inside. And it's just a matter of how much work it needs. They are taking offers on June 7th. Here's another one on Lorne Scots, which has been a busier street in 2016 in terms of volume of listings. 574.9. Now this, I guess, used to be a garage at some point. So there's not actually a garage in this home. There's lots of living space, although you still only have the 2 bathrooms. This one has 2 full bathrooms with a shower down in the basement. Nice open concept design. But, you know, if you need that garage space, I guess, you know, if you substitute it with living, then you're doing okay. And it looks like it may be a corner property as well. It's interesting. Personally, I would want a garage. Armstrong is a Lindsay model, so it's 1,800 square feet, 4 bedrooms. I like the way this one looks. There's a couple of today's homes that have siding, and I think siding looks okay. Some people say, I don't want any siding. You know, depending on the house, it's got some charm to it. So even with the stone on the bottom here, Armstrong is a very busy street. It's really the only access point between 4th Line and Thompson for the Beaty subdivision. So it gets a lot of cars driving by. I probably drive on Armstrong 5 or 6 times a day. And so just get ready for that. If you have kids, they can play in the yard, but they go out in the front and it can be dangerous. So pot lights around the outside of the living dining. And then you have, this is a family room, but I guess they've converted it to a dining room. And the 9-foot ceilings make a huge difference in this floor plan. Dormer windows, we'll see that again on Somerville. And all the bedrooms are they're like 10 by 10, right? Which is like, it's an okay size. We talked about that yesterday. And the yard is pretty standard, 36 by 80 foot lot, 639. If this one doesn't get hit with that busy street penalty, which again, I don't think it does, most of them don't, then I would expect this one to sell right around what it's listed for. It seems like it's in a fair range. There was one on Scott that sold maybe a month ago or so. Exact same floor plan, or very, very similar. Didn't even have the finished basement, and I think they got $630 for that one. So yeah, they might even be a little higher. They might get up to $650. The one on Bowring didn't go as high as I expected, so maybe there's a little bit of a softening in this price range. But every sale seems to confuse everyone in 2016. 351 Wigglesworth is $750,000, and I feel like for 2,200 square feet, a little bit more basic condition, that this is probably the value for a detached double car garage. So it's a semi. They said it's just like a detached in the description, but it's not just like a detached, it's a semi-detached. And so there's 3 bedrooms upstairs, and it's been rented before. I've had a client that actually rented this a couple of years ago. September 1st, 2016 is the possession date. When you see a date like that, you know that it's important to a seller. So if you give them that, you might have some leverage with your offer. Yeah, I would say that this one, it's a tricky one. There's not many attached double car garages like this one that come up. It's a little tricky to price them. 831 Somerville. Somerville is one of those streets that if you don't live on it, you don't really drive on the street. It's very quiet. There's one side that backs onto green space. This one does not. And the tint on this one lowers the impact. It is a yellow siding, which you can paint it, but I would say the first impression, some people might drive up and say yellow and siding. I don't know. But once they go in, it's absolutely lovely inside. It's a good floor plan. This is actually the same layout that I own. So I am rooting for these guys, because my first reaction was $945 seems a little bit high, but they've done a lot of work in this home, like a California style where you have an offset tile design going right into the family room. So nice and clean. It's really durable with kids. So if you have little boys that like to slam their toys down on the floor, then not a big deal, because the tile is very strong. Built-ins, you've got your 4 bedrooms upstairs, nice dormer effects, all very, very nice sized rooms upstairs. That's the largest room, the spare bedroom after the master. Basement looks terrific, and it mentions something about a custom garage. There's also some nice landscaping in the back here. They don't make 56-foot lots anymore. We've seen some nice 3,300 square foot homes that have listed and sold around the 900 range. One of them went over $1 million. I think on the price per square foot, at least for main floor square footage, this one's 2,850 square feet. If it sells anywhere close to this price, it's going to be one of the highest per square foot sales in the 56-foot lot series. So it's absolutely lovely inside, and I have a feeling that this home is going to show even better in person than it does in these photos. So I'm rooting for them. So that is the list. Annette, let's turn that G-Funk back up. So what do we have here? 18 properties. There's also the one from the Oakville Milton Real Estate Board. In Milton, we have 2 different MLS systems that overlap, and so sometimes a home is listed on one but not the other. I won't talk about the impact to a seller of doing that, because it obviously does affect them in a negative way. We always put everything on at least 2 MLS systems to guarantee coverage. So if you're going to be in town, join us for a tour of homes, and if not, maybe this weekend includes a little 420 and some G-Funk. And if it does, we salute you here at Daily Homes. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.